Okay, now let's talk about rental products. Rental products is very similar to services, and you'll see it's our last remaining hurdle before we're off to the races. Let's go ahead and click it. This page is very much the same as the services. If there's nothing in here, these two buttons will show up. It's where you can download the sample CSV and then upload it. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, it's the same drill as before. Let's make this a little more manageable. Stuff up top we don't want to change. Got to leave it the same. Manufacturer, again, these need to be in your database, which Canon already is by default. Just make sure that you add all those manufacturers into your database before you import this, otherwise it won't tag it correctly. So here we'll put our manufacturer, the model number of the rental product, the name, the description. Kind of hard to see here, but there's inventory ID. So if you have like your own stickers that you put on your equipment, that would go here. And then the category, group, and subgroup is very much the same as services. You got to make sure that these are in your database already, which these all are by default. And then your rental price, this is how much you're going to rent it out for. Rental costs, how much it costs you. If it's paid off, then yeah, it's free unless you have a different way of calculating it. And then the replacement cost, what it would cost to replace that gear if it were to be damaged. Now this is important for two things. One, the page for rental products tallies up all of your equipment and gives you kind of an overall inventory worth, which is kind of fun just to see how much gear is worth. And it also is important for the rental prototype experimental feature. When you create a rental for somebody, in the contract it will say what the replacement cost is if all the gear, if something were to happen to it, and what they're responsible and what their insurance should require coverage for. So make sure these are accurate and up to date, because they are important to have in your database. Serial number is self-explanatory, and then the unit of measurement in which you're going to rent these out. Do you rent these out by hour, by minute, by day, by week? All those durations are in the database already, so you can put those in there. Just make sure they're spelled exactly the same as what's in the database, and if it's not in the database, put it in there before you put it into here. All right, just like the other CSV, you got to export this as a CSV. Don't include table names. Unicode UTF-8. Let's just say this is rental products .csv. Okay, get out of here. Oh, just go away. There you go. Okay, once we're ready to upload, we can upload. And if you haven't modified anything in the column headers, everything should find its home. If not, you can pick from a drop-down list, but that is pretty nerve-wracking because you want this all to be perfect. Once that's ready, just hit upload. Give it a second to think about what it's done, and then bam, there's all of our equipment. Default is just like services. Do you want this piece of equipment to show up by default on every estimate, or do you want to pick it from a list? If you want it to be default selected, toggle that guy on. And in the rental portal, which is highly experimental right now, you can have a rental portal to where it's gear that you rent out shows up as a separate inventory to potential rental customers. So if it's a piece of equipment you don't intend on renting out, leave this unchecked. If you want to rent all these out, let's go ahead and just check all of these real quick, because yeah, I'd rent this stuff out for sure. Okay, over here is where our thumbnails should go, and sourcing all these thumbnails would be very time consuming, and the whole idea behind Project Binder is to get you on set working and not doing all this number crap and SAS management and whatnot. So I created a little thing here where it pulls from Google Images 6 pictures that pull the the model number. So let's just say we like this picture. It's going to go ahead and tag it to that and then move on to the next one. And it does take a little bit of time, but it's definitely faster than creating a folder and dragging them in and organizing and then uploading and clicking save. So we can get through this pretty quick. It just has to go to Google and back to us. And I don't know what that person has to do with that lens, but. And then if there isn't a good option, you can click skip, which isn't here. It will be there in the next update. Okay, so here's all of our equipment. And if you click on one of these things, it'll just pull up a little window. You can delete it if you want, change the manufacturer. If you've typed in a manufacturer that doesn't exist, this product manufacturer will be blank and you'll need to tag it correctly. This is important for the way the estimate builder works. You can quickly add a manufacturer by hitting the plus button. But yeah, here's all the other information and measurement, and it's all good. All right, so that's rental products. Just make sure everything's perfectly done, because organization is key, and it's really important for the next step, which is binding rental products into rental packages. We'll talk about that in a second.